everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to part 3 of my Lapbook interactive tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts. Now, last time we worked on this page over here, and we already worked on everything else. So let's go ahead and move on to the page that I want to add on this side, as well as decorating the cover. Okay, so we're gonna start with a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm going to trim this at 8.5, just like so, by 9.5. Oops, there we go. 8.5 by 9.5. So I'm gonna score this at 3/4 of an inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, 3/4 and 1/2. And this is going to be again my little hinge as we did on the previous page. So this is where we are going to attach it. A second piece at 9 by 8.5. Okay, and then I'm gonna score along the 9 inch at 1/2 inch, just like so, and at 8.5. Okay, so 1/2 inch on each side, and then I'm gonna turn this around and do 1/2 inch along one side. So we're creating kind of like a large pocket type of thing. So I'm just gonna trim the corners like so, just like that. Fold along the score lines. Okay, all 3 sides. And then I'm just gonna use my tape. So then I'm gonna grab the one that we cut first, this one with the 2 scores on the side, and I'm actually gonna turn it on the back, and I'm gonna place the large pocket that we did on the back side of that. So I'm just going to take off the tape. Now the back, it's going to be, or this one on the bottom, it's going to be just a little bit bigger than this pocket, and I do that on purpose so we're not touching the score line once we add this large pocket. So make sure that we are closest to the outside edge when we place this. So let's just align it on the bottom, and hopefully this go nice and straight. Perfect. Okay, so then on the back we have that pocket, and it's not, make sure that you can still bend your page. Okay, so then I'm going to use 2 envelopes here, and I'm gonna open them up, and I'm going to add some tape so they can close nice and neat. Do this. So I'm gonna use both. Let me see if I can open this some more. Okay, just like so. So I'm going to close these 2, and then I'm going to add this in my layout. So to add on my layout, we're going to need to use some of your scrap pieces. So let me go ahead and finish this up. So I'm just going to use some of my scrap here, and first measure the envelope that you have. They're not all the same probably, so use whatever you have. So mine measures 6.5, so I'm going to cut one of these at 6.5, and then the other one I'm going to attach like vertically, so I'm going to measure this as well. So it's 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut this other piece at 4 3/4. Now I only need about 1 inch to attach these envelopes, so I'm just gonna cut this at 1 inch. Oops, there we go. And then I'm just gonna score at 1/2 inch. So I'm just gonna mark it right here and use these pieces as a connection to my envelopes. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold these in half. Oops, Move that out of the way. And then I'm gonna use my tape. So I'm going to attach the connection piece here to one of my sides on my envelope. Just like so. Okay, and on the opposite side, I'm going to just cut an opening. So you just want to cut a little piece like that. So now our envelope opens on that side. And I'm gonna do the same with the other envelope. Now I'm going to bring the piece that we were working on, where we have the score lines on the right, and I'm going to place one like this and one like this. So I kind of just want to do it like on a fun, random way. So I think that's good. So I'm just gonna take off the tape on this one and just place it over here, just like that. And then I'm gonna do the same with that other one. Just gonna take off this tape and place it kind of on the side a little bit, just like that. So to keep this down, I'm gonna put some magnets on these two envelopes. All I'm gonna do is just cut the paper to cover my layouts, and I'm just going to pencil mark most of these. Okay, so I'm lining the paper on the back, and then I added it here and here as well. And I want to show you that I added other magnets on these sides as well, so it doesn't just hold to this piece, but it also holds to the background, because this is going to be a pocket, so you want this to kind of stay down a bit. So I'm going to continue with the paper here, and then also I'm going to add another piece of paper on this side. I added this background, and then I cut this little piece, and this one is just going to go inside of the pocket like so. Now we're going to work on this piece. I'm going to cut another piece of cardstock, and I'm going to do 5 by 10. Okay, it's right here. 1, and then I'm going to do 5 by 10 and a quarter. All right. So 5 by 10, 5 by 10 and a quarter. The first piece, the 10 and a quarter, I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch, and then 5.5. And the second piece, that is 5 by 10, I'm just gonna score at 5. Now this one, I'm gonna bend in half, and this one, I'm gonna bend along the score lines. 1 and 2. Bend this to the outside like that, and then I'm just gonna add some tape in here. Let's put this down there, and I'm just gonna add 2 pieces, just like that. Okay, so and I want this to be a 3/4 of an inch, so you can have a good hold. You can always do it at 1/2 an inch if you like. So now I'm just gonna place this piece on the inside of this 5 by 10. I'm just gonna take off both of these tapes and just try to align these the best we can, just like this. Okay, so now we have a little card that when we open it, we can pull down for room for pictures. Okay, so this one is going to go up here. But before I place this there, I do want to create a little interactive feature on top of that. So here's a little tip. After you use all your score tape, save one of these little cardboard pieces, because especially if you don't have a die-cut machine, it is really helpful to create circles, and this is what I love about it. So I'm gonna trace one of the circles, okay, and see how this has this little width here. So then you're gonna grab one of the images that you want to put inside your circle. For example, for this first circle, let's say I want to use this bunny over here, the rabbit, and now I'm gonna trace the inside of the circle. So I have a little border in between the image and the circle. So I think this is a great way to reuse, recycle, and especially if you don't have a die cutting machine. Here you go. So this is how it will look like. I like that you get that little black border around. So I went ahead and I cut 3 more, and I also cut 3 more images, as you can see, and then I also inked around. So I'm going to put these together, these little circles, kind of as a, what do you call this, like an accordion. So I'm gonna be using some washi tape. I just have some black washi tape here, and let me see if I can find the end here. Okay, and I'm just going to put 2 circles together, side to side like this, and add some washi tape. And I like washi tape because then you can take it out easy and kind of move it around if we need to adjust it. So I'm gonna put these 2 together, and I'm gonna fold these and make sure they close nice and good. And then also I'm going to do another piece of washi on the same area, just on the other side. So right here, just so it's nice and secure. And then I'm gonna do the same with another circle with my washi tape. Now, to make sure that we're actually stacking them correctly, let's go ahead and fold these and place this one right on top. Now we're gonna do the washi tape on the other side, and just open this up and then fold the washi tape around. Let's see, like, I'm trying to make this straight like that. Okay, so now when we open these, we know they are right where we need them to be, and I hope I'm being clear. But what we're making is just a little accordion circles. So you can always just open these up and just make them really straight and just place the next one right next to it. Add your little washi, just like that, and then you can turn it around and do the same thing. Just add the washi on the other side, and then we can close these as an accordion and make sure that they're all on top of each other, which they are. And if they're not, because we did this by hand, we can go ahead and just like fix this up a little bit if you need to, something like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding my images, and I'm gonna start on this side, and all I'm gonna do is place one here where my Alice goes. Now you can add magnets if you want to keep this closed. I'm gonna put a magnet and the circle piece on top of each one of these. So now I'm gonna open this one up, and so keep in mind this is gonna open up, so this is gonna go glue on the bottom, and it's gonna open up like so. So you could leave these 2 empty to put pictures, or you can leave them all empty if you want, but just put one here on the front. So I'm just gonna continue adding my magnets and my images. So we have our little I don't know what to call this, I guess a little medallion accordion. I think it looks really cute. All right, so now I'm going to place this right here. So I don't have a large enough piece to cover, and I don't want to cut a new sheet, so I decided to use just some of my scraps and paper piece, just a tiny bit on the top. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I'm gonna place this circle right on top of that. So here is this piece, and now we can go ahead and place the whole piece on here on this pocket. Now remember, this is a large pocket, so you can make a large photo mat to go in there. I love this little feature here. And then we open this up and we have a little accordion fold as well, but this will be for pictures. So I'm just gonna fill that using my craft color cardstock, and I'll probably be adding some magnets as well. So now I'm ready to add this page into the book, so I'm just going to use some of my double-sided tape, and I only have the little one. I ran out of the other ones, so I'm just gonna use 2 layers of this one. Okay, so let me just trim this like that. Okay, and now I'm going to bring my book, open this up, and this page is now going to go on this side. Now remember, this little spine measures 1.5, and this measures 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so you want to place this closest to this edge. Okay, don't place it on the center. If you place it on the center, it's going to overlap with this page when you close it. So let me just remove some of the tape on the top. I'm gonna do this thing. So I'm just going to make sure it's center up and down. Press down on that side, and now take off all of this tape, and here we go. So now we have this page done as well, and this one done as well. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yes, I still have to add my magnets in here. I'll do that later. And so yeah, so on this little area I have something else I want to do. So I fussy cut around this image, and now I'm going to use some of my scrap pieces. I'm just going to glue this down and fussy cut around it again. The little tag. So now I'm going to use some of my little scrap pieces here, and I'm going to cut these at 3 3/4. Just to create a little belly band to add this. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch on each side. Now I'm just going to do some tape on these little flaps. On both of them, here and here. Okay, thank you. And so I'm just gonna trim this out, and then I'm just going to cover this up with this little piece. So we're gonna cut this right there and right here. And then also I'm going to need a piece here, another little piece of scrap. Let me see if I can find something. Like this, for example. Perfect. Okay, so then I'm gonna cut this piece right over there. I'm just going to take off the tape on the back of this little piece, and oops, I'm just gonna place this kind of down here, just like down here like that. And then when this comes in, yeah, I don't want to cover Alice, so I think that's good. So now I'm just gonna place this piece behind it, behind everything, and I'm just gonna glue it down. Right. And now we can put a little tag in there, and I'm gonna do one more tag using this. I have my other tag, and I think these tags are perfect place to like add a little bit of journaling in there with a white gel pen. That's always fun. Okay, so now I think for the inside of the book, I'm going to add a little interactive piece up there, and also I want to go ahead and finish covering this page up. For this page that opens up, I want to create a little pop-up, so I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I'm going to cut out one of these bunny, what do I keep saying bunny? The rabbit. Cards over here, so I'm gonna get this one. I also backed the image and some black cardstock, and now I'm just going to cover this bottom piece. I'm actually gonna cover both the bottom and the back of this page, and that's hard to see. Let me try to scooch this along so we can be in frame. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this side and this side for now. So now I have this little piece, and this measures 6.5 by about a 3/4 inch or an inch. So you just want a long piece like that, and we're gonna score out 1 and 3, 4 and 6. Okay, so we're creating one of those little squares or rectangles as we did before to make this little pop-up. So now I'm just gonna fold along all the score lines and close this little rectangle like that. So I'm just gonna use some of my tape, just a little tiny piece here like that to be able to close this like so. So we have a piece like this, and now we're gonna grab the image that we cut out, and we're just going to add this along the bottom. So again, I'm going to use tape on the long side. I'm just gonna lay this flat, and I need tape along the long side and the bottom. So I'm just gonna do one long tape instead, just like so. Okay, so now I'm gonna peel off this tape and put it back into a rectangle, and we're gonna just place this right on the center and make sure this is flush against the edge of the card. And now that we have that, the bottom piece is gonna go into our book. So I'm going to kind of close this flap here perpendicular, and now I need tape here on the back as well. Almost forgot. So you need tape on the bottom, and then we're gonna add tape on the back. So I'm going to do 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're gonna push this hard, peel off the tape on the back as well. So we have tape on the back now and the bottom, and now I'm gonna go ahead and stand this piece perpendicular and just place this right on the center, or as center as possible. I don't think mine is right on the center, but here we go. So now this is gonna close flat like this, and when we open it, we have kind of like a 3D effect on the page, where it kind of looks like the bunny pops out of this page of cards. So it looks kind of cool. So on this side, I'm just gonna do craft color cardstock, and over here I'm gonna use a new sheet of paper, and I'm gonna use this little round base as a template. Here I'm going to create a large circle. Now this measures about 5 inches in diameter. So I'm just gonna trace my circle, and I'm gonna cut it out. So you want to use 2 circles for this. Okay, so now I have my 2 circles. So I'm gonna use one of them for the bottom base. So I'm just gonna fold this one in half. I'm just trying to find where the center of this circle is. So I'm just gonna fold and fold, and let me just press that hard, and right where that meets, it's where the center is. So I'm just gonna punch a hole through both of these like that. So now we know the center. Now this one's gonna be on the front, that's why this one is not being bent. Okay, so I cut these little images from, you know, random pieces of papers from the collection, and let me just go ahead and ink this one. Then I also traced another circle, and when I cut this circle, I cut it just a little bit inside the line that I traced, so you could see a little bit of that black you know, border around. So I'm just gonna glue this on top, And then I'm gonna grab one of the images as a guide, and I'm just gonna put her right here coming from the center, and I'm just going to cut a little opening on my circle like this, and then I'm gonna go flat like this, and then I'm gonna cut it at an angle again, just like that. So we're creating this little opening on this page, kind of like a Pac-Man, you see that? And now this is going to go on top. Now before I add this on top, I'm going to cover this with paper as well. So I'm just gonna trace this new shape here onto cardstock, and then I'm going to cut this around. Okay, so now I'm just gonna place this on top. Oops, a little off center. Something like this. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on the back and punch against the little mark. I'm gonna turn this around and redo the little center hole, and then I'm also gonna put these two together like so and push down that little center hole again like that. And now I'm gonna just add the images. I'm going to put the queen. Let's see, my little glue. So we're gonna put the queen over here, and then we're gonna put Alice on the other side. Just kind of, let's see, so if this one looks like that, when this spins around, I just want to make sure that she's going to be in frame, just like so. And then we're going to put It's Me somewhere up there. I'm gonna just do this right there, and Drink Me somewhere over here. So you're gonna have a little wheel that looks like this, and now I'm gonna place this one on top. Well, make sure my glue is all dry, and I do have a little tiny brat piece that I'm going to use. So I'm gonna place one on top of the other, put my little brat, and I'm gonna just close these here on the back. Okay, just like that. And then make sure that this is spinning, so don't put it too tight. Put it not too tight. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this back into our book. So now all we're gonna do is cover. My book is so big. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this piece. So now we have the background, and I'm just going to place this right here. So make sure, let's see, how do I want to see this? Okay, so I'm gonna place it just like this. Get all this extra glue. Okay, so now this little wheel, you should be able to spin it and see the different little images just for some fun interaction. I thought it'll be cute. All right, so now we are ready to work on the outside of the album. So now we're gonna work on the cover. So I decided I want to do a double cover for this album because I have two different ideas and I don't know which one to go with. So I'm going to start with a new piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut this at 8 inches by 8 inches. And then I'm going to grab a second one, and I'm going to do 8 by 8.5. Like that. And then I'm going to score this piece on at 1/2 inch. So now I'm just going to join them together. I have the tape at it, and let's make sure that they are nice and straight. And here we go. So we have this little opening page, and I'm going to use this page over here as well as this one. So I'm going to cut this at 7 3/4 to fit inside my card. Right here. Okay, and I'm gonna keep the whole length. And if you guess that I'm doing a pop-up card, I am. I'm doing a little 3D card. So I'm going to fussy cut around this image, and let me start with this part over here on the bottom, because I do want to say I'm going to save this little phrase. So I'm gonna start here like that, so I can reuse this little piece. And now I'm gonna leave this part flat, and I'm just gonna fussy cut around on the top. Okay, so I have my image, and now I'm just inking around everything here, just really quick, just like that, just to give it a nice finish. So now I'm gonna turn this around, and I'm gonna fold the bottom that we left nice and straight, about a 1/2 inch in, and then I'm just gonna press in here like so. All right, and then I'm going to fold this in half, just like we did the other pop-up. I'm going to cut here where the bending point is, like here, just like a little V, like so. So you get this little notch. So when you open it, it looks like this. And now I'm going to use this piece that we cut at 7 3/4 by 12, and I'm just going to ink this first. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this in half. Okay, so I fold this in half, and now I'm going to add my little image. Now again, before you glue this down, make sure that when you close this, it's not going to stick out. See how barely tiny it sticks out a little bit? So let's push this up, and now we are ready to place this. So let's see, it's gonna go like that. So I'm gonna just hold it here, make sure the center matches with this little corner, and I'm going to use my tape, place my tape on this little area of, you know, this little fold part that we did. And I'm going to take this tape off. I'm actually going to do 2 layers of the tape, just so it's nice and secure. Take that out. Let's use this tool. Okay, so now again, I'm gonna fold this, and I think it was around here. I'm gonna close this, and now I'm going to do the tape on this other side. Just like that. Oops, put a little too much here. Take this off. Okay, and I'm gonna take that one off, and I'm gonna do another one on top, on the side. They kind of overlap, that's why I take it off. Okay, so now I'm just going to close this page and have my little pop-up again. So now I'm going to decorate around here using some of my scrap pieces. Like there's some tea over here, there's some tea over there, and there is a cup of tea over here as well. So I have my page all decorated with some of the scrap pieces, and now I'm going to add it into the base. So what I thought first was I want to see this kind of like big square piece on the front cover, and you can always cover this with something else, but I'm kind of changing my mind, and I think I'm just going to trim this just enough so it will just fit the card. So this measures 6 inches, so I'm going to grab this whole thing and cut it at 6 1/4. Okay, so yeah, sometimes we change our mind, and that's okay. So before I place this down here, I'm going to go ahead and add a magnet on this side, and of course on this side as well. So I have my magnets over, and now I'm just going to add some tape here, kind of around half of the card, because you don't want to glue this part, okay? You want to allow for your pop-up to bend a little bit. So I'm just gonna do those two sides, and then I'm gonna turn this around, and whoops, I ran out of tape. But anyway, we can start with this one. So first I'm going to take off the tape on this side, just like so. Oops, here we go. And then I'm going to take off the tapes here. This is not coming up. There we go. And here as well. And now you want to make sure this is right on that bending edge, just like so. And then we're gonna close this, just like that. And now we're gonna open this up, and I'm gonna add tape or glue just on this side. So first I'm gonna peel off my tape, and I'm just gonna add some glue. Oops, just half and left. All right, and now we go ahead and close this, just like that. And now this whole piece is going to go here in the center. So I wanted to do first an 8x8, so I have a big square piece, but I think this is fine too. So now I'm going to first of all cover the back before I glue this down. So now I'm gonna add this whole piece down there. Make sure you have your orientation right before you place this down. So I'm just going to add some glue and place this right in the center. So yeah, before you do it, make sure you open it and you have it on the right place. Okay, so now that I have that down, I'm going to create a little layout here for the front. So I have this beautiful frame that I was sent on my DT package. You can also find it on the website. I'm just going to place this over the image of Alice, because it looks like she's kind of going inside, right? She's going inside Wonderland. So my idea is that she's going to go through that little door and then she's gonna go into the tea party. So I'm going to just cut around this mark that I did. So I placed the background here, and I just want to see where I want my frame. I think I want it to be right on the center of that, and then the image will be right here. So I'm going to glue the image first, just like this. I'm just gonna make sure my image is centered. That should be fine. Let me double check. If I place this here, okay, so that's good. And now I'm just going to glue also my frame. Just gonna put a little bit of glue around this. And I just love the detail on this frame. It's so cute. It's a little bit gothic. I don't know, I really like it, and it goes really good with the background as well, so I love it. So I'm just gonna hold this down for a second. Now I have these beautiful butterflies. These are Darling Art by Valerie, and I just love her butterflies. They're so detailed and so cute, and they're adorable. So I'm gonna add some of these butterflies here just to decorate the front. So like this. And then also I'm going to be using, these are the Holly's Red Roses, and I have all the supplies listed on the description box below, as well as a link to the store. So if you guys wanna get these materials. They're so cute. Now I am going to ink the roses so they look a little bit more vintage. So I'm going to place some of these flowers on the side. Oh, I'm also using some of these little scrap pieces of cards, you know, and they're just half, but they're perfect to put on the back like this. So I'm just gonna glue these ones down. I'm gonna just use my glue. First I'm gonna glue them together in a little bit of frame. So I'm just gonna get something like this, put it right in the background, just like that. And then these gorgeous butterflies. I think I'm gonna do one over here, and maybe we can do some, like, I don't know, like throughout the album. They're so gorgeous. Okay, so let me just add this little butterfly here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put these flowers here. I have this little piece here that says Curiouser and Curiouser, and I'm gonna back this up on this little scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm just gonna cut around it, something like this, and I'm going to ink as well, just like so. Now I'm thinking if I should put this here on the corner or if I should place this here on the inside. Decisions. I think maybe out here in the corner. I am gonna use a tiny piece of my leftover chipboard just to give that a little bit of volume. So I'm just gonna use 2 pieces, stack them together, and use that as a base to give this a little volume. And here we go. I'm just gonna wait for this to dry right here. So now I'm just gonna add this little vintage lace here on the bottom, just to give it, you know, like a pretty edge. And I think I'm just gonna stop here because there's so much going on the inside of the album. I want to keep the front not too heavy, and also we have the pop-up interaction. So I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna add I think I have one more sheet here, so I'm gonna use, I don't want to use the back, I'm just gonna use the beautiful image. So I'm gonna use this for the back. And the last thing I do want to do, I'm gonna cover all of that, but I do want to add just a little interaction right up there. And for that, all I'm gonna do is just use these little cards. So I cut 2 of them, and I'm just gonna use some scrap pieces of cardstock, something like this, and just do a couple accordion little folds. So for that, and let me go ahead and measure what this little image is. This is about 1.5 by 2 1/8. So I'm going to trim this page. Let me put this right here. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 1/4. So I'm going to score out 1.5 and 3, 4.5 and 6, 7.5 and 9, and 10.5, and then that'll be 12. So I'm just gonna make this fun little accordion to add little tiny cute little pictures. Okay, so and then I'm gonna use this little image and just add it right on top of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna use some of my scrap pieces of cardstock, and I'm just gonna wrap this around. I'm gonna wrap it around a little bit loose, just like this, and I'm gonna trim here the extra. And now I'm just gonna glue this piece, and I'm just creating a little belly band. I'm gonna hold this down here, and I'm gonna cover the front of it with some of my scrap pieces. So I have a tiny piece here that could work. And then I'm just gonna add this little belly band piece into the album here. So that is what Lapbooks are about. They're all about the little tiny details, you know, a little interaction here and there. They're just so fun to look at. Usually they're made to talk about a story. You know, I'm gonna wait for this to dry. So yeah, so they're really fun. I remember I did one with my kids a long time ago about like anatomy or like a body something, and then then you open the person and then you see the inside, and then you talk about like healthy foods, and then you know, it's just all the interaction was about that. So that's a little bit where my inspiration came from. Of course, this one is modified so it fits the theme, and also, you know, to add, you know, pictures, because I think my style of crafting is mostly about documenting your life, you know, treasuring your pictures in fun, different creative ways. And so yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial. Please don't forget to visit JS Hobbies and Crafts. I am going to do a final walkthrough of the project like I usually do. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.